Hello and welcome back to the not-so-weekly news from RCModelReviews and the bench from hell, which is about to get a spring clean because it is spring. What is it? Today's the 2nd of September as I make this video, and in the Southern Hemisphere that's the second day of spring, unless you're one of these people that thinks it starts at the equinox. But hey, I'm an optimist. I like to think it starts now, and outside the winds are blowing at a hefty pace. There's gales out there, so it must be the equinoctial gales. Woohoo! That's really symbolises the start of spring around here. I'm really looking forward to when the gales actually subside because it's warmer. Look, no big thick jacket on today. The temperature's gone up, so yeah, it's getting far more comfortable to come out here and make these videos, and hopefully a lot more flying videos soon. But on with the not so weekly news. And what have I got to report? Well, yeah, as you still going on these mini quads. Sorry, all you people that are saying, oh, enough mini quads, we've had enough. Well, I know what you mean, but hey, this is the MXP 230 Elite, the all carbon one, and that's going together on my beach now. I was tossing up, do I put the arms for the 6-inch props, which are fiberglass, or do I use the arms for the 5-inch props, which are carbon and very, very light? This is so unbelievably light. I mean, if I took it out today, it'd just blow away without motors on it. It's so light, so it will be interesting to see. I have a few concerns about the strength of these arms, these carbon fiber arms. Remember, I did a video on stress risers. Well, I'm looking at those arms and I'm thinking, ooh, I don't know if they'll last, but hey, we'll find out. I'll smack it into something and find out. So yeah, the original MXP 230, brilliant. Everybody loves that thing. This one, we'll find out. Lighter, so it should be better. I've got my radio going behind me. Lighter, so it should be better. I'll put the same motors in it, the same flight controller, and we'll see how it goes. We'll give you the comparisons. And of course, the thing that everyone has been waiting for is the mini quad shootout. And here's the QAV. You can see by dirt on the props, I have been flying the QAV 250, and I have to say, it is an incredibly nimble craft. Now, you've seen videos on YouTube probably of the likes of Shootout and a few others flying these things. They are so acrobatic, aerobatic. They flip on a dime, and I know that because the first time I tried to fly this, I did a flip because the rates were right up, and I had to dial things back for an old grandpa like me. But yeah, very, very agile machine. Not so impressed so far with the CC3D, I have to say. Maybe it's because it just has so many more setup options. There's so much more configurability in that that it just takes longer to dial it in. I don't know. The NAZA works straight out of the box. I love that. But if you're really a sort of an ace flyer, maybe you'll find that the CC3D is better because you can dial it in more accurately. I don't know. Lots of people love the NAZA. Lots of people love the CC3D. That's going to be an ongoing thing. I'm going to keep flying this, keep dialing it until I get it as good as I can. And then I'll decide, well, I'll tell you what I found, whether it's better or worse than the NAZA 32. But in the meantime, if you're a beginner, probably the NAZA is a better, simpler option because it's so easy to get flying. But yeah, this airframe, man, this has got the 2206 motors, I think, which probably explains why it's pretty sprightly and why it'll flip on a dime, because it's got a lot of power in it. But as I say, the full review, when the winds have subsided, I need to get some more footage because I've been practicing. I need to get some decent footage instead of nano-flying. So yeah, that's coming up, and as you can see, the dirt shows, I have been having a lot of fun with that. Also, while we're in the mini quad mood, this, what is it? Well, it's the Blackout, of course, but look, 6-inch props. The nice guy from Blackout sent me the longer arms for 6-inch props, and I've been flying this, and there's a big difference between 5-inch props and 6-inch props. Are they better? Well, actually, I'm still reserved at this stage. I mean, you get a lot more punch and a lot more speed, but you know, it's actually, maybe it's just me, I need to practice a bit more. I'm finding it harder to do the threading the needle stuff because that just floats. It floats. It's like a balloon. You back off the power and it just stays there. It doesn't come down as quick. So I need to have some more practice on this. Again, lots more practice, and I'll come back to you with some conclusions when I've got some, when I've been able to draw some. The ZMR 250 frame. Oops, here we go, cable for the microphone. The ZMR 250 frame, I've been flying this. It flies really well. With the RC timer motors on it, it's not a powerhouse. I've got to tell you, compared to the other mini quads I've got, this is not going to win many races. The RC timer motors just don't have as much grunt as the Tiger motors or the HL2304s I've been running on the MXP 230. And I've noticed that I've got 4 motors. 3 of them are good. One of them's already developed a lot of bearing slop. There's probably 0.7 of a mil of bearing slop, vertical axial movement in that bearing, and it makes a hell of a racket when you're flying too. So, I mean, what are they, $11 motors or something? I mean, you're not going to bitch and grizzle when you compare them to, it's unfair to compare them to a $45 Tiger motor. But I'd hope that they would, you know, be a little bit more resilient. I've got some spares. I'll change this one out and we'll keep flying it, see what happens. And I'll bring you all the details in the shootout. But just I know people are saying, come on, tell us. Well, yeah, does this frame fly? Yeah, of course it flies. It flies, you know. It's interesting, all the frames fly. And choosing a frame is probably not going to be about how well it flies. That's the bottom line. They'll all do flips, they'll all go reasonably quick, they'll all, you know, do all the things you want them to. The difference between the frames is something quite different. I'll tell you about that in the shootout. So yeah, stay tuned. As you can see, I've only got so many hours in a day and I've got so many damn mini-quads to fly and the weather's crap, so never mind. See how we go. Now, what else have I got? I got sent this the other day. I think I might have mentioned it by Luftpost, which I think is Swiss for man riding a snail. And I got sent, it's from Pleasant Software. That's nice, isn't it? Pleasant Software. Lovely. What a good name for a software company. I love that. Excellent. And they sent me something I've already lost. No, they haven't. It's in this little silvery bag here. It's actually, and let me go back to the paperwork here. It is the Zagometry or Zagometry FPI NAZA 2 FreeSky Telemetry adapter. What's that mean? Well, okay. I mean, one of the best things about the Taranis and the FreeSky system is the telemetry. I use it, all the mini-quads have got voltage sensors on, doing a video on that too. So I'll show you how, for example, in the, what's this, the ZMR frame, I made up a simple little voltage sensor here that plugs into the D4R2 receiver, so that when my battery's getting low, the nice lady with the Taranis says, hey, your battery's getting low, which means I don't fall out of the sky. I know when to come home and land. That's brilliant. And I've done on the, what is it, on the Blackout, on this one here, it's a 6-inch. Is it on? Yes, it's on that one. So many. On this one, I've hooked up the NAZA 32 to the FreeSky Telemetry, so that it tells me I can read my accelerometers, my barometer, because this is a full-blown NAZA with the barometric sensor, so I know, should be able to tell my altitude, my acceleration in any given axis and so forth. Lots of cool stuff, you know. So like here in New Zealand, we can only fly to 300 or 400 feet is our maximum without going through all sorts of procedures. So I'm going to try and set this up so that it'll alert me at 380 feet above ground level. I never fly that high, but I'll try it and see if it works. It could be a useful little alarm if you're into flying high with your multirotors. But the other thing is, I'll probably throw GPS on here and we'll look at doing some speed runs and see what we get out of it. But hey, so there's two different ways to do your telemetry on a mini-quad. One is to go through the NAZA board, and one is to just directly plug into the side of the receiver with a simple resistive voltage sensor. You can buy those, they're a couple of bucks. Why wouldn't you buy them? But if you don't want to buy them, I'll show you how to make them with some, you know, cheap ass resistors you can probably pull out of an old radio somewhere if you don't have them sitting on your bench. So there you go. But yeah, this one works with the NAZA. Lots of people use NAZA, so I'm going to put this on the NAZA and hook it up and make sure it works with the FreeSky and give you a review. That's what I do, reviews. What else? Well, probably I've got the mini-quad motor shootout, you know about that, and already there's some clear winners coming out of that and some clear also rans, and you'll have that. Fixed wing stuff, well yeah, I'm going to finish the DLGs I started at the beginning of the year. I mean, there's a couple of DLGs I'm working on here, started those and the weather turned to crap and all the flying issues and things, nowhere to fly them. So they're sitting here waiting to be finished. I'm going to finish them. Isn't that wonderful? Nice when you finish stuff. I've also got another DLG from Hobby King, the composite one, which I'll be putting together and reviewing. And I want to get a bit more DLG stuff going on. I've got the pulse jet powered, what is it, Dolphin. Yeah, that project's still underway. I was looking at it this morning thinking I must do that. But first of all, big spring clean. The bench will be returned to a state of nudity. You'll be able to see the bench rather than the crap on the bench. And outside in the workshop, I'm basically going to go through and throw out all the junk so I can start doing the other stuff that I've been planning to do for a long time and give you some videos on. So it's a lot of work for me, a lot of work for a little return until you get the cleaning up done. But it's spring, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, in the meantime, oh yes, soldering tutorial on the antennas and the connectors and the crimping and all that sort of stuff. Try and get that done today, so it should be up in the next couple of days. So if you want to make your own antennas or leads or whatever, I'll show you what you need, how to do it, and any of the traps that might, you know, confuse young players. That's it. Questions on the bottom, comments on the bottom. See you again next time. But now, as you well know, it's time for me to get back to the bench. Oh yes, and before I forget, almost forgot, antennas on your mini-quad. See this? See this? Brilliant idea submitted by an RCModelReviews viewer. Basically just cable ties, see? You just run a cable tie through the frame here and then use some heat shrink to make sure your antenna stays on the cable tie. Gives you the nice V shape you want for diversity, and when you crash it just bends and they don't get tangled up in the props. Brilliant!